It's so personalized that there would be a concern of what kind of information would you learn about people.
Hi there and welcome to From Ideas to Results. I'm joined by Chris from our data and our insights team here at Sleeping Giant Media, and we'll be covering all the latest things that are happening in the world of data and tracking. The first thing we wanted to talk about was around server-side tracking and Google's Tag Gateway. Now, we've talked about this a little bit in the past, but you were talking about there's a way to approach this. There's options around which one you would choose and why.
Absolutely, yes. Server-side is the gold standard. It gives you the opportunity to do a lot more than just overcome first-party challenges. Google Tag Gateway, however, is much easier to implement. If you have any technical challenges when it comes to server-side, or you just want a cheaper option, then Google Tag Gateway is a good option. It will cover GA4 and Google Ads in a very simple way, especially if you happen to be using one of the CDNs where it's close to a couple of clicks and an update of your CNAME, which makes it super simple. So if you're on Cloudflare or Akamai or something like that, then it's a super simple process, as long as you have access to the right people.
If you want to get tracking set up and get sort of 80% of the way there, but particularly if you're using Google-dominated platforms, the Google Tag Gateway is a good way to go. What does server-side give you that Google Tag Gateway doesn't give you?
Yeah, so essentially Google Tag Gateway is just your existing actions, whether they're conversions, page views, etc., but just in a first-party way. So instead of sending it via googletagmanager.com, it will be sent via metrics.yourdomain. And so it's seen as first party, but there's nothing else other than that. So it covers some of the ad blockers. They're less likely to be impacted by it. Will also give better data quality when you're in those platforms. Server-side, however, does all of that, but also gives you all of the control. So you can see exactly what it's doing. You'll have logs around what it's doing, when it's doing. You're about to see whether it's faster or not than the events that are currently being sent. But you can also do transformations. You can also make it the layer that sends all the data. Actually, not the recommended way of doing it, unless your ultimate goal is just, I want to make my site as fast as it possibly can be. It isn't the recommended way of doing things, because actually the platforms benefit from having both of those data sources. Redundancy in there, which is, it's not the first thing.
But it can be a way if you've got a lot of tracking tags.
You can do it.
Yeah.
There's also opportunity server-side to do so much more. Just transformation. You could add in extra data that you have server-side, and it's feature-rich.
And the other topic was around Google's Search Console. So there's also third-party tracking tools when it comes to AI visibility, but we thought at some point Google's going to start introducing this within Search Console, so that that's going to be the central source of truth. They have now added a report. Bit basic, but could you just give us an introduction to what they've done and how that compares maybe with Bing?
So as you mentioned, we have our own tracking solutions for that. One of the challenges if you're doing it yourself is you have to choose the prompts that go into that. You have to define what that is and pay for each of those prompts returning the response. What you now have in Search Console, actually both for Google and Bing, and Bing's is slightly more comprehensive than Google's, is a whole bunch of things around what kind of topics are people searching for. They are in Microsoft also broken down into awareness, consideration, purchase intent, those sorts of things. So there's a way of actually being able to see at scale what kind of things are being searched for within LLMs. It doesn't give you the prompts themselves. So there is still an element of maybe it is the specifics of those prompts you're not going to get, but topic areas and types of top level categories you can get. There are some good tools out there like Profound, which will give you quite a lot of information around what those prompts might be, but it's also incredibly expensive.
And I'm guessing at the moment that they're doing it like on a topic basis, because simply because it's personalized and AI driven, it's the likelihood of it being a particular term is very minimal, because there'll be sort of, say, infinite variations of essentially the same query, whereas before AI it was often like airport parking.
Yeah, absolutely. It's now, where can I find airport parking that fits my SUV with 4 children for a wheelchair? And then follow-up questions to that as well. It's now much more conversational, your response, but then there's a follow-up response. It's so personalized that there would be a concern of what kind of information would you learn about people. It's why Google search query reports. I don't know if you remember the time when you could go through and you could see literally every single search query, but that was being mined for like political parties that would look to understand what people's fears and worries and all sorts of other things, which is why that slightly frustrating other search terms appears in the search query. And I suspect you have the same thing here.
Exactly,
You couldn't surface it, wouldn't be particularly useful, but also it it would contain lots
Yeah, that's a really good point.
really be doing.
Cool, well, there we go. Lots to think about. If that's of use, we've got loads of content on our website, some downloadables on these sorts of topics as well. And we're posting regularly on our socials. So do make sure you follow us there, and we'll see you next time.